Okay, you created your first project and it'll pop up. It'll look something like this. This is the scene, this is the projects, the consoles here, and things are all over the place, which is fine. If you look here down in the project directory, I'll explain what it is later, you'll notice that if you, for this information, it uses a lot of space here, right? So I chose a different form of laying out the screen, and that was shown in the video. Let's see, where was the PowerPoint presentation? Here's the layout file. It's in this PowerPoint presentation, RiverExplorer layout. You click on that, and then it will bring up eventually a file for you to download, right? So you download the file. Now, it happened to remember because I practiced a class. Minimize this. I store files like this in a specific place that I think I might want to reuse. So for me, on my PC, I use the E drive for development. I make it a directory or a folder called Unity. And inside, I'll go back here, inside of Unity, I created a folder called Unity Tools, and it's just stuff, right? And so you'll save this file, it'll show down here, to whatever directory you want, some directory where you want to store your stuff. And then you hit save. And then it will have stored that file for you. Now let's go back to Unity. Here we go. And we're going to change the way this screen is laid out. And it's something that, this is no hack, this is just something that they give to do. Then you go up into the upper right hand corner of the game here running, and you click the down arrow and you load a layout from a file, and you select wherever it is you stored that file, and you open it, and it clears the screen and restarts. Now, this is how we're going to be using the Unity layout in these videos. So at least for the duration of the class, it might be a good idea if you use the same layout as me. If you want to go back to the default, you just click default, and boom, you're there. Now remember this asset scene, all this wasted space. We go to mine. Where is RiverExplorer layout? Didn't we load it? I must have shown you but not clicked it. Okay. Open, it refreshed. There we go. Interesting. It doesn't save the name. I'm going to save the layout. Oh yeah. Oh, I almost forgot. Yeah. So after you load it, then if it doesn't show up here, you save the layout and the RiverExplorer layout, and then that way you can switch between default and the RiverExplorer one. That way, if you're watching some tutorial online and they're using the default, you can go to the default and do what they say until you understand it. When you're going back to the videos, you want it to match, you go back this way. It's just the way it shows it. It doesn't change any data on your project. So this is the visual indicator of the construction. This is the construction site for your video. This is what the user will see as it exists right now, which is nothing. A game always starts up with a sample scene. It has a directional light, which is more like an emphasis light in this case, and has a main camera. You always have to have at least one camera in your scene. If you disable or don't have a camera, the user will see nothing. That's what this little checkbox does. It disables it, which is great because sometimes in the game you want something disabled until you trigger it and then you enable it. But the camera, probably the last camera, probably not one of the choices you want to make. The little asterisk here after scene name means something changed in the scene. And we did. We clicked and doubled, and that's just enough to tell it something changed. So we often do a file save, even though we put it back. I often do that anyway. Let's go back to the camera and check that, and you'll see the asterisk appear immediately. Now, instead of hitting File Save, type Control-Z, the letter Z on your keyboard. Hold the Control key down and hit a Z, then let go of both of them, and it undoes what you did. And I don't know how many it can undo, but sometimes it can undo a lot, sometimes it cannot undo a lot. So do File Save a lot. All right, so the sample scene is what's in this scene. A scene is a level. Like, you've done games, level 1, level 2, level 3. So think of a scene as a level. Down here is your project directory. This is everything that is in the scene is in your hierarchy. Everything that could be in your scene is in your project folder. And when you have stuff, you can drag it up here, you can drag it over to the scene. We'll show you that later. Packages, Unity in their infinite wisdom decided you probably don't want to see them, but I do. You can, in the project folder here, click on this. Now you'll recall when it was the other layout, if I clicked on scenes, and it's decided to think a bit here. All right, it showed this in a whole new window, just this. So now instead of being a whole new window, it's just like a file in the file hierarchy. When you're doing your directory searches for Windows or something. We've got all the packages we can see here. All right, so and then this window here is the inspector, and it shows you details about what you click on in your scene. And there's a lot of detail here. It looks like it's a lot of stuff, but once you get it, it gets simpler and simpler as you go on. All right. All right, you have your scene. So I'll see you this is the end of this little clip it section thing. I'll see you in the next video.